extraordinary place to start any escape to the country. I'm underneath one of the most influential steamships ever built. When she was constructed and launched from this very dock back in 1843, she transformed maritime history. It was that propeller and this iron hull that made all the difference. But who is she and where are we? Well, join me in just a few moments and I'll tell you. On today's show, we're helping a family of 6 find somewhere for them all to stretch their legs. But it's no mean feat finding the perfect place to fit.
I'm worried about the beams, maybe. There might be low ceilings.
Again, on the compact side. Yeah, for a kitchen.
But could it be that something much more stately is much more suitable?
Wow. Yeah?
Yeah. Really nice.
That's more like it.
Well, today I'm in Bristol, on the borders of Somerset, at the Great Western Dockyard, and this beautiful ship is the SS Great Britain, designed, of course, by our most famous of engineers, Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Now, when she was launched in the mid-19th century, she revolutionised ship design. She was built of iron, she was the biggest ever built, and she used a screw propeller, taking passengers across the Atlantic in a mere 14 days. Now, later on in the show, I'll be back here having a closer look below decks. But in the meantime, here's a little taster of some of the other heritage highlights this region has to offer. Lying in southwestern England, Somerset is flanked by the Bristol Channel and shares its land borders with Devon, Dorset and Wiltshire. The county name of Somerset means the land of summer people, not because the sun always shines here, but because a large percentage of the land was, and still is, only dry enough to be farmed between May and September. Principally, it's an agricultural county, known for its dairy and orchard produce, and the terrain here is a real geographical mixture that beautifully covers both high ground and low. Somerset is also a legendary place, full of prehistoric caves and catacombs, some dating from as long ago as 12,000 BC. In fact, the landscape here reveals much about the county's history, and no more so than in the wealth of distinctive housing stock. From the central Somerset blue lias to the limestone of the Mendips and honey-rich hamstone, this kaleidoscope of architectural character is quite literally the bedrock of Somerset's heritage. Well, when it comes to property prices, Somerset makes for quite interesting reading. At £268,000, your average property here is £13,000 above the national figure. And as a general rule, you will pay more around cities such as Bath and Bristol. But if you want a bit more value for money, well, you could head south toward Taunton and Bridgwater. But today's buyers, well, they want to be in the north of the county. So let's meet them and find out why. Teenage sweethearts Mary and Gabriel first met at a festival nearly 20 years ago. And for the past 7 years, this husband and wife have lived on a suburban housing estate just a couple of miles from Cambridge city centre. But a forthcoming new job opportunity in North Somerset provides the catalyst for a fresh start in the West Country.
I grew up in a really rural setting in Northumberland. It's a big part of me, it's in here, you know. I miss hills and a bit more drama in the landscape.
We would like to be within 45 minutes of Tickenham so that Gabriel can drive to work and it not be too far away and still be able to be at home with family.
And finding somewhere to fit their family will be fundamental to their move.
We have lots of boys in our house right now. There are 4 and they just need to be outside. They need to be able to play and build dens and just experience countryside, I think.
They love running about and they love climbing trees, and I think the deal breaker for them is that we have a tree house. So that'll be the first thing that we focus on in the new place, is where we can put the tree house.
Their 4 young sons are aged between 9 and 3, and home is a small 3-bedroom semi-detached property that's understandably bursting at the seams. So space is key when it comes to the next house, particularly the sleeping arrangements.
4 bedrooms at least, loads of kids, but it would be great if we could have a guest room as well. So we can double up with the children in rooms, and then having people to come and stay will be an important part of it.
For me, no low ceilings, because I like the sense of space, and no low beams.
It's essential that the property's near a good primary school as well. So walkable or cyclable for Mary to drop the kids off.
Mary is a stay-at-home mum, while Gabriel is a writer and aspiring novelist. And with 4 sons in the house, he's keen to find somewhere with his own sanctuary.
I am really excited about having some space to write in a shed or in a writing room that's hopefully a lot more peaceful, and maybe there's a kind of creative vein in the West Country a bit to tap into. It'd be interesting to see what else is going on.
Their present house is already on the market, and they have a figure in mind for this Somerset relocation.
Our budget for the move is up to £350,000.
Gabriel needs to be within a reasonable commute of North Somerset for his work in the village of Tickenham. But our search will spread itself throughout the county for the very best chance of finding what our buyers want. And we're all meeting up on Somerset soil to clarify the finer details of their West Country move.
Well, hi Gabriel, hello Mary.
Hi.
Very nice to see you at long last. How are we all feeling about our proposed escape to the country?
Excited?
Excited? Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
We've got a lot to pack in, 6 of you, 4 bouncing boys. It's going to be a busy house, this, isn't it?
Yep, yep.
Now, where are you with the current sale of your property?
It's happened really fast, actually. We put it on the market just a few days ago. We had 17 viewings over the weekend, and we have 2 strong offers over the asking price right now.
So you might have sold it by the end of today?
By the end of today.
Yep, hopefully.
So, Mary, give us an idea of what this new house should comprise and perhaps look like.
Well, we'd like at least 4 bedrooms in it.
Yep.
And maybe a utility area so we can do lots of washing because we have a lot with 4 kids.
I can well imagine you have lots of washing, yep.
A reasonable sized garden
Yep.
because the kids love playing outside.
Big kitchen diner, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
that'd
mean,
be nice.
getting 6 of you around the table every night is going to require some space, isn't it?
Yep, and they're getting bigger.
And they're getting bigger. Well, exactly. That's the one thing you're not going to escape. Now, you say you're about to sell, which is terrific. Just remind us of the budget that's going to leave us with.
We said 350 originally, 350,000, but the sale's looking really good at the moment, so it could be 10,000 more.
So maybe 360.
Yeah.
OK. Well, we've got 3, I think, very interesting properties to show you. We've got a lot to do. I think we should get going.
Great.
Great.
Follow me.
Fantastic.
So, for a revised maximum budget of £360,000, Gabriel and Mary want a 4-bedroom house with a spacious kitchen diner, a separate utility room, as well as an office for Gabriel to write undisturbed. And essential to their checklist is a large garden and access to good local primary schools. We'll be presenting our buyers with a varied assortment of fine Somerset family homes, but as always, I won't be revealing their price tags straight away. And the final selection is the mystery house, where we'll be taking them out of their comfort zone to satisfy their creature comforts. Our first location on this house quest is about a 50-minute drive from Tickenham in the village of Ilton. Characterised by lush countryside and picturesque thatched buildings, Ilton has a country pub and a local primary school rated good by Ofsted. And the house we're viewing is just a few minutes' walk away, in a quiet country lane on the edge of the village. This is what I want you to look at.
Wow.
This is our first property of the week. What do you reckon?
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Cute. Yeah, I think it's rather nice. It's about 1760.
Yep.
So nice bit of age to it. The thatch is relatively new, which is always
Right.
worth thinking about. Is this the sort of thing that you had in mind?
I'm worried about the beams, maybe. There might be low ceilings.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
It's all right.
let's see.
You'll fit in.
Okay.
Even Gabriel won't have to duck too much, I hope. But, yeah, I mean, if the boys were here now, would they be excited to look around this?
Yeah, they're
They
excited.
were, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's see if you are. Come on.
One of the oldest properties in the village and originally built as 2 farm workers' cottages, this detached stone house was converted into one family home in 1981. So let's find out if it's big enough for 6.
Well, here we are then, you two. Let's start with the main living room. You've got a nice big fireplace over there. Multi-fuel wood burner,
Yep.
giving that kind of country feel.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's nice. I like it. It just feels a little small.
In terms of the beams, I mean,
They're fine, aren't they?
are these too low for you?
Well, yeah.
When I say beams, I mean they're back.
I like airy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see what you think of the kitchen. Go on, after you. This is it. I guess you'd call it something of a galley kitchen.
Yeah.
But it is light.
Yep. Yep.
is.
It is lighter in here.
I like the worktops.
The
Yeah.
worktops are lovely. The sink as well.
Nice stone floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doors out to a patio and the rest of the garden. So again, you know, I can imagine the boys all charging in and out on a nice summer's day. And in terms of sort of seating everybody, you've got, I guess that'll be your kind of everyday, you know, kind of feeding area,
Yeah.
Yes.
as it were.
Again, on the compact side.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a kitchen.
Okay. Let's continue down here. There's quite an interesting little space across the hallway. This, well, let's call it the music room, shall we?
Looks like it.
But it could be quite a nice little playroom. What are you thinking, Gabriel?
I'm thinking it's versatile, so it could be used for different things.
Do you have a playroom at the moment for the boys?
No.
I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it, to, I guess, have somewhere, particularly in a smaller cottage, I think, to kind of have that kind of
All the toys.
separation. Yeah, all the toys and all the gear.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you make of upstairs. Come and have a look at what's on offer here.
Back in the hallway, there's a very useful downstairs shower room and the stairs up to the bedrooms. But there are just 3 in total, 2 of which are comfortably sized doubles served by a large and newly fitted family bathroom. And that just leaves the biggest.
So this is what we're calling the master.
Yep.
In terms of size,
Yeah, it's a good size.
It's a nice view.
it's a very sweet little house. When you said cute earlier, I think cute's probably a fair description.
Yep.
It's just trying to make it work. Okay, let's go and have a look at the garden.
Okay.
At least we can let the boys run
Yep.
around out there, can't
Yep.
we? Follow me.
It's clear that both parties are struggling to warm to this cottage, but perhaps we can find something that will bring a smile to their 4 sons at least outside in the garden. Immediately to the rear, there's a paved patio backing onto open countryside. But rather unusually, the majority of the grounds here stretch out to either side of the property. On one side, there's a large gravel driveway, providing access to a double garage, beyond which is a vegetable patch and an orchard as well as a shed. Then a large lawned area fringed by mature trees lies on the other side.
Okay, so outside space-wise, quite a bit on offer. Would this be enough space for the boys?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
It's more
so.
than they've got now.
Yeah.
They could do even more. They could do fields.
You could have acres, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Really? Let's face it. Yeah.
Sure.
Not on our budget.
Not on the budget. Well, let's talk about the price of this very pretty 1760 cottage. Go on, Mary. You go first. Make an offer.
I'm going to say 340.
340. Yeah, Gabriel.
I'd go lower, 320.
Driving a bargain. Excellent. Okay. Well, there is good news. This is on the market for offers in excess of £300,000.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I know there are compromises that you've picked up on throughout this property,
Yeah.
but how do we feel about that?
Good price.
Good price. Yeah. Worth thinking about. Worth
Yeah.
exploring a little more, I
Yeah.
think.
Sure.
Go on then. Off you go. I'll catch up with you later.
Okay.
Starting off considerably under budget for offers in excess of £300,000, the first property is a charming detached thatched cottage with a history that dates back to the 18th century. And with the right planning permission, there's money left over to extend and adapt the home to suit our buyer's family needs. But as it stands, there are 3 separate reception rooms, 3 bedrooms, and in the quarter acre of gardens there's a double garage and shed, so opportunity for Gabriel's writing room.
I don't think I can see ourselves in this property. It's not quite for us. It's a pretty cottage, but I think we're just looking for a little bit more light and a sense of space.
I don't think it's for us. I think it's cute and it has a certain charm about it, but there's not been a second where I could see us actually in here. It's actually a bigger space than I thought at first. But it's a weird shape, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Along the road.
I like the vegetable patch though.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That was eavesdropping. You're quite excited about growing your own.
Yeah.
It's all part of country life, isn't it? We've got 2 more to tease you with. Come on, let's get on with it.
Around Somerset's historic market towns and villages lies a landscape whose natural resources underpin both the local architecture and the communities. A prime example being the rural village of Backwell, which sits at the base of a 150-metre limestone ridge. This limestone has been mined for centuries and continues to this day. But to prevent the land of a disused quarry from commercial development, in 2005 villagers clubbed together to buy the site, accessing money from taxes levied on the natural resources extracted here. Now in the hands of Backwell Environment Trust, this spot of countryside is maintained by a group of dedicated volunteers, one of whom is local resident and trustee Ian Chambers. So we sent Gabriel and Mary to meet him and get a head start on their back-to-nature aspirations.
We've got 2 reserves. The one you're standing in is Jubilee Stone Wood, and the one across the road is Badger's Wood. Jubilee Stone Nature Reserve is obviously named because of the Jubilee Stone here, which was put up in 1897 to commemorate Queen Victoria's 60th year on the throne.
And how big is it altogether?
This reserve we're standing in is 10 acres, and the one across the road is 12.
Wow.
So that keeps us busy as volunteers.
How easy is it to get people to give their time up to come and help out?
Well, it surprised me very easy.
Is it?
We've got a thriving volunteer base. We get like 10, 15 people out every Monday.
And of different ages?
Yeah, it's range. We've had kids from just... Well, in fact, our youngest volunteer was 2. Didn't do that much. But yeah, we're people into their 70s. So it's a whole spectrum of people.
The Trust has a calendar full of activities, events and classes aimed at educating, conserving and improving the landscape. And the latest project is creating a new footpath through Badger's Wood.
We're trying to create a woodland trail 350 metres long through here. And we've called it the Geology Trail because it runs along the base of some of the fantastic limestone cliffs that run through here. The guys down there, as you can see, are actually hacking out some sections of the cliff to make it flat and level. What we want to do is really inspire people, make them spend a bit more time inside the woodlands. So this trail has been devised to actually go through some of the most dramatic places in this north-facing part of the woodland.
Gabriel and Mary have been entrusted to get their hands dirty making the paths as flat, level and secure as possible. As with all the projects undertaken here, it's vital to work harmoniously with the land, utilising low-impact techniques and traditional crafts to help minimise disruption to the wildlife. Our buyer's next task is to scythe the meadow, which is a quieter and therefore much more sociable way of maintaining the land than mechanised methods.
OK, well, this is where we're going to be scything today.
OK.
This is one of the meadows we created about 6 years ago. So have you done scything before? No, I thought you'd say that. Yeah, grab a scythe. We've got all this to cut, so away you go, really.
Ian, why are we scything rather than any other method?
Well, if we didn't scythe this every year, all the bramble and tree seedlings would just take over and it would go back to woodlands. And I think the volunteers find it quite, relaxing and therapeutic to come up and do it. If we were using mechanical tools, it would be so much more noisy, you couldn't hear the birds singing, and it's also keeping country crafts alive as well.
Now our couple have a good insight into how determined community spirit is successfully breathing new life into these natural spaces. Let's return to the business of finding Gabriel and Mary their very own Somerset haven. For our next destination, we're getting a little closer to Gabriel's new job location as we're headed to Priddy, further north into the county. Lying in an area of outstanding natural beauty, Priddy is a highly desirable village in the Mendip Hills. This is a beautiful and peaceful pocket of the Somerset countryside, but with a range of local facilities to hand, including a primary school, village hall, farm shop and an inviting 19th century country pub. Much of the architecture in Priddy has been constructed out of local Mendip limestone, and so too has property number 2, which lies opposite open fields, right on the edge of the village.
That is what we're going to suggest as our second property.
Nice.
Yes?
Yeah.
What's nice then, Mary?
It's taller.
It's taller, it's a little bit bigger. It's only about 20, 25 years old.
Is it?
But rather cleverly, they've clad the front in local stone, which is nice, so it fits
great
in
stone.
with the other more historic buildings in Priddy. So, are we happy to go and have a look?
Definitely.
Come on.
First impressions appear to be drawing our buyers in, which is a huge relief. And I'm hoping this detached stone property will give them the kind of space they were hoping for.
Okay. In you come. After you, Mary. After you, Gabriel. Now, living room-wise, we thought the first one perhaps was a bit challenging. What about this one?
That's much better.
Yeah.
Is it the taller ceilings?
Yes.
And the dual aspect as well.
Yes.
Yeah. More
Yeah.
like coming in.
Right, let's have a look at this one. Now, this is currently set up as dining room.
Right.
Yeah, good size. Light.
Is this winning more than the other one?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
There's still a bit of a reticence here. I can never work out what you're thinking. You don't give much away, Mary.
I don't like to give much away.
Come on, we've got to know. What are you thinking about this particular property?
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Good.
I think it's an improvement, but I'm not warming to it yet.
Really? And yet, outside it was all smiles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what are you worried about?
I just want to see more. I want to see the whole thing.
God, it's going to be another tough one, isn't it? Come this way. Now, just off the kitchen is this little utility area and door out to the garden, and then this is what it provides for at the moment, which I guess isn't tiny.
No.
How does it compare with the current property you're in?
It's bigger.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger.
Yeah. I mean, it is difficult, though, isn't it, to see how you're all going to fit into any building, actually.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The ground floor tour is completed by a downstairs WC. Then upstairs there's a spacious 4-piece family bathroom, perfect for a large family. And more good news is that this time we have 4 bedrooms on offer. 2 are reasonably sized doubles and a smaller bedroom is currently being used as an office, leaving the last room just for Gabriel and Mary.
Right, guys, finally, this is the master. For the obvious reason that it has this very useful ensuite
Great.
with it.
Great.
It's great to have the ensuite.
And the 2 windows are good.
Yeah, dual aspect's very nice. The landing's great.
Yeah.
Bags of room there. I can imagine them all out there gathering in the morning.
It does, it does feel more. I can see how the upstairs would work. A
Well,
lot
just
more.
think of the joy of this. Look, all the boys, all 5 of them, can have that bathroom out there, and you've got this one.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure I get a good deal out of that.
Oh, you might just have to wear it. I don't know.
Don't worry, Gabriel, because this property has a special treat just for you and your words back outside in the garden, where there's a lawned area bordered by characterful dry stone walling, as well as a detached stone outbuilding that could be turned into a man cave.
So, let's think about the money on this one. You can go first this time, Gabriel.
Okay. I'm going to go for 320,000 again.
Are you?
Same, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for 340 again.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Conservative is the phrase that comes to mind with you two. Well, I'm afraid it is neither of those figures. Priddy is quite a well sought-after village in the Mendips. So this is on the market for 369,950.
Okay.
Right.
However,
Yep.
sensible offers get sensible answers.
Okay.
So I think for your maximum spend of 360 or thereabouts, you would entertain this.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you thought it was
Yep.
for you. Right then, I suggest you go and have a look in there.
Okay.
See if you can get creative in there. And I'll
Okay.
catch up with you later.
Great.
Go on,
Good
off
stuff.
you go.
Just over their budget, at £369,950, our second property is a modern-built but characterful family home in a popular country village. The cottage comes with 2 reception rooms and 4 bedrooms, including a master ensuite. And let's not forget the garden that features a detached outbuilding, presenting the ideal getaway for Gabriel's studio.
This is looking good for you, I think.
Yeah, this could really work, actually. I think desk in the corner, sofas.
Yeah. We
Wouldn't
wouldn't see you, would we?
Wouldn't really need to come in the house.
I like this house more than property 1. I like the fact that the rooms are bigger, that it's more spacious, that there's a place for Gabriel to write that he'll be happy in. I'm not quite feeling the love, though.
There's definitely more to like about this house than the previous one. There's lots of pluses, actually, but I still can't see us in here. I'm not quite feeling it.
How'd you come? Seen it all?
Yep.
Seen enough?
Yes.
What about the, writer's bothy? Come on.
Yeah,
That's good.
that could be great. You're saying it's good, you'll never see me.
You'll never see him. He's going to hide himself away, look. Right, come on, let's get away and have a pint.
Sounds good.
Reflect.
That sounds good.
The second day of our house quest is upon us, and on a budget of £360,000, Gabriel and Mary want to move their 4 young sons out of their cramped conditions in suburban Cambridgeshire for a roomier lifestyle in Somerset. After 2 non-starters, could we finally back a winner with the mystery house?
I like it.
Look at the smiles now from you.
This is just so much more like it.
And I test out my sea legs on dry land in a vintage West Country vessel.
Good, right then. Should we see if it all still works? Now, I don't think there's any hiding the fact that our first 2 houses have been somewhat disappointing for Mary and for Gabriel, but I also have my own doubts as to whether or not we're really going to get there with these 2. They're certainly not giving very much away, but one thing is for sure. They've got to move, they have a big family, and let's face it, those 4 boys are getting bigger, so we do need a property with lots of space to satisfy all of their wants, and I'm pretty confident we can get there, but it may not be exactly where they want it.
What I have gleaned from the 2 house tours so far is that Mary and Gabriel do seem keen to put their own stamp on a property, but I'm wondering just how far they're prepared to go.
How would you feel about a project? We haven't really touched on that idea.
Yeah, we're happy to do some work.
Yeah. How handy are you, Gabriel?
I think we're up for going in somewhere and see it, with potential that...
And how about wielding a paintbrush, Mary?
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got 4 little helpers. More help than you'll probably need.
Yeah.
Yeah, help. In inverted commas.
I'm glad they're willing to upgrade their new home, but I also hope they're prepared to travel further, as our mystery house is towards the eastern portion of Somerset in Tolland, and so would stretch Gabriel's commute to an hour. With a couple of primary schools rated good by Ofsted nearby, Tolland is a small village just 3 miles from the historic town of Wiveliscombe, where our buyers can take their pick from a host of amenities, including independent shops, restaurants and tea rooms. But Tolland itself is real rural Somerset, nestled into which proudly stands our rather grand final property.
This, then, is our mystery house.
Wow,
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
that's more like it.
Yeah.
That is more like it. Thought so.
It looks fantastic.
As you can see, this is your garden. The boys have got bags of room here to mess around in.
It's great, and views of the hills as well.
Yep.
Trees.
Really
I love
nice spot.
Yep.
And you've got another access as well from the road with parking and another door, but we thought we'd start here.
I'm looking forward to going in.
Shall we? Let's go.
The mystery proposition is the larger slice of this Grade 2 listed Georgian manor house, and I've got everything crossed that a touch of historic grandeur is more to Gabriel and Mary's taste.
Okay, let's start with this one. The living room. What do you think?
Good.
I like
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
Look at the smiles now from you.
This is just so much more like it.
Yeah.
In what way? Come on, tell me.
It feels just walking up to the house and coming into it that I'm in the country properly, proper old house.
So, Mary, are we happy now?
I'm happy, yes.
Good. Right, let's have a
Yeah.
look at the kitchen. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to be that little bit lighter
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Similar size to some that we've had before, actually, but I guess the light windows make a difference.
Yeah, and big windows. Really like it.
But if this isn't enough dining area, we have also got you a dedicated dining room.
Great.
Wow.
It's a whopper. Yeah, have a look at this. So how about this then?
Wow. Good sized room. Really big. Like the alcoves.
Yes, nice, aren't they? Nice bit
Great.
of period detailing there. Through this door here is the front door. Off of that is a study, which we're thinking might be your writing room.
Great.
Marks out of 10, dare I test
Oh,
the
it's
water?
too early to say.
I knew. Right, come on, upstairs.
In the main hallway, there's access to the cellar space we saw earlier, which is currently used for car parking. Then at first floor level, the family bathroom serves 4 bedrooms. There's a single room with a long, large window, but the others are all great-sized double rooms, so plenty of space for Gabriel and Mary's boys to comfortably share, and room for visiting guests too. But we're going to finish up our internal tour in the master.
So last but not least, your room.
Wow, good size.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I like that
Fireplaces
little
are great.
fireplace. It's lovely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
now what do we think out of 10? Now we've been upstairs. Go on, commit to something.
9.
9!
Yeah.
That'll do, Mary.
Yeah, I'd say 9.
I'll take 9.
Is that good?
I'm delighted. Yeah, 9 is very good.
Yep.
Okay.
It's good.
Let's see if we can boost the score of our mystery house with a look at the garden. And if anything is going to get top ranking, perhaps a third of an acre will do the trick. And that's exactly what this lot has got.
So there we are. That is our final property.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. That's a word I've been aching to hear this week. The garden, obviously we saw it on the way through, but in terms of the boys, Mary,
Yeah, great. It's, yeah, fantastic.
and it's a nice one, this, because it's big, but it's
Yeah.
low maintenance.
Yep,
Get yourselves a ride on.
yep.
Decent mower. Yeah.
It comes down to the nitty-gritty now of price. Mary, you can go first this time. You've got 350, 360 at a push. What are we going to have to deal with here?
Well, I think you've gone over. Oh, I'm going to say 365.
365, yeah?
It's a whole lot more house, but it is much further out as well, more remote. So 380.
380. If it were in the 360s, would you think about it?
Definitely.
Well, you can think about it a little bit more, because this is on the market for £330,000, which would give you bags left over
Yep,
with which to make the obvious improvements that it needs.
That's amazing.
yep, yep.
That's what I wanted to hear. I didn't think I would.
Well, we've saved the best to last, haven't we, Mary?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
And if we had the boys around our feet now,
They wouldn't be around our feet.
they'd be out here, wouldn't
They're
they?
behind it in the bushes.
I'm going to be
berserk.
saying, buy this one. We want this one, basically.
Okay, well, it is a family decision. But I think before you make it, you ought to go and have another look around.
Okay.
Okay.
I will
great.
find you later.
Yep.
Off you go.
Thanks.
Hurrah! I do love a mystery house.
Well under budget with a guide price of £330,000, the mystery property is part of a handsome Georgian listed manor house in the heart of unspoilt countryside. It nails our buyer's wish list and comes with 3 reception rooms, a kitchen diner and 4 bedrooms. And the third of an acre garden has plenty of scope to give their 4 young sons the treehouse they requested too.
I'm so excited about a mystery house. From the moment we walked up to it, it just felt like it was a proper house to me. You know, it's bigger, it's in a fantastic setting, and the windows are all looking out over green, and just such a great feel to it.
This house has just got so much potential. It's got so many rooms, there's little cubby holes around. It's just got character and yeah, there's so much scope for the imagination here.
The extra distance to work would be a compromise, and it's something that I'd want to try it out and see. It is that bit further away. I guess that's part of the cost of finding a place like this. I hesitate to say this, but it does feel like home, actually, this house.
Well, what a difference a house makes. Look at your faces. We are happy now.
Yeah, very happy.
Good. Well, there is plenty to consider. It's a big move.
Yep.
It is.
Lots of money at stake. Come on, let's go and think.
That's the end of Gabriel and Mary's house search, but there's still a wealth of Somerset properties waiting to be snapped up. For real traditionalists, this three-bedroom cottage in the village of Stone Easton is on the market for offers in excess of £300,000. It's beautifully presented outside and in, with a bespoke kitchen, homely bedrooms and an elegant bathroom. Or how about this converted 19th century chapel in Stoke St Michael for some divine intervention? Perfect for those who like the mix of history with contemporary, it has a state-of-the-art kitchen, 4 bedrooms and a guide price of £400,000. And finally, £895,000 is the price ticket attached to over 9.5 acres in the hamlet of Camley that comes complete with a 4-bedroom family home. But it's the land that's the real feature here, boasting paddocks, woodlands and lakes. Somerset's northern borders are bounded by the Bristol Channel, a major shipping corridor that's given the city of Bristol a long and illustrious shipbuilding legacy. So I've come to meet historian Jude Holland for a tour of the most famous ship ever launched from these docks, the SS Great Britain.
Hello, Jude.
Hi.
Very nice to see you.
Hi, good to meet you.
Now, this ship is often referred to as the one that revolutionised maritime engineering. Why?
Yeah, well, the Great Britain really is the ship that changed the world. Firstly, she was the biggest and strongest ship of her time, and that's because of the revolutionary use of iron. And the vision was really to extend the Great Western Railway as far as New York. So to really get into that passenger trade, speed was obviously really important, and efficiency.
But it's quite an ambition to extend the railway to New York. But that was what they were doing with these ships.
Absolutely, it was the kind of pioneering age of innovation and engineering.
Designed by the 19th century engineering giant Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the SS Great Britain is a mammoth 322 feet in length and was the very first ship to have a screw propeller. Launched in 1843 at a build cost exceeding £5 million in today's money, she ran aground just 3 years later and was then sold on, only to take to the high seas again in 1852, changing her guise to a sailing ship, and this time carrying emigrants out to Australia and bringing back gold. After decades of restoration to its original state, today it's Paul Harrison who maintains the ship's engine. I gather at the time she was built, this was the most powerful engine ever constructed.
It was 1,000 horsepower. To put it in some sort of context, you look at the size of this engine now, we can get the same sort of horsepower out of a Formula 1 engine, which is sort of this big, and this we need a 3-storey building to occupy her in.
Is this original?
No, this is a replica. She was re-engined many times during her illustrious lifespan at sea. By the time she finished off her useful career, the engines were long gone.
Now driven electrically, maintaining this replica engine is ongoing, and the job of the day is to replace the lubricant.
You'll see in the pot there, there's a little threaded hole in the bottom, and it should just screw into that quite nicely. She was re-engined a number of times, but ultimately the engines were removed because that gave more cargo space.
After carrying passengers for 30 years, she went on to carry cargo for a further 50 before getting badly damaged in a storm and abandoned. Then, in 1970, an expert salvage team brought her back to Bristol.
The remarkable thing was that when she came home, the dock was available. Thankfully, she's been able to stay here in her original home.
What a wonderful tribute to Brunel.
I think it's a tribute to the man, his engineering skills, and the quality of the work that went into building the ship in the first place.
Good. Right then. Should we see if it all still works?
We done. Get my colleague to switch her on. Lena, when you're ready, let's see her run.
Wow.
And there we go.
It is a beast, a beautiful beast, coming back to life.
Yes, it is.
Now listed as part of the UK's National Historic Fleet, the SS Great Britain proudly sits framed by a glass deck built at the original water level. An inspired 21st century design, giving the illusion that this innovative 19th century vessel is still floating on water after 170 years. Well, we have now arrived at that point in the programme we like to call decision time, and this could often involve a fairly lengthy conversation between myself and, of course, our buyers. But on this occasion, I think there's only one property that they've been discussing. The question is, what happens next? Well, you two, this has been quite a revealing week, I suspect, in many ways. How have you found it, Mary?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, really, I think.
Really?
Bit up, bit down.
I would
bit
say
up.
so. Yeah, been a lot more down than up in some respects, but we'll deal with that in a moment. But first of all, I gather there is some good news. We've been waiting with bated breath to hear through the week if you have sold your house, and I gather...
Yes, we've sold it.
Brilliant.
I just spoke to the estate agent, and over the asking price.
Over the asking price. Yeah. You are so lucky. That
Fantastic.
doesn't happen often these days. So now yesterday, our first two properties, disappointing, frustrating.
Yep.
Should we just gloss over them?
I think so.
Yep.
They weren't going to be for you, were they?
They
No,
weren't for us.
They weren't for us.
I was quite depressed last night. I wasn't really sure what we were looking for, if I'm honest. But we pulled out all the stops, we went a little bit further afield, and we got to our mystery house. Mary, talk me through it.
It was lovely. When we first saw it, it had that wow appeal. It was lovely. It was big, it was beautiful. Loved it.
Yeah, that was the real deal for me. Big house in the country, sitting there in on the slope. And we walked in there and immediately we were talking about things that we could do and also things that, would just leave as they were anyway because of the charm of them. So.
Now, we talked about the boys running around the garden. Can you now imagine them running around the house?
Definitely. They would go and play hide and seek and get lost somewhere.
Well, you're hoping so because you can do some work. You've got that little writer's study as well.
That was perfect. And it felt like a family home, and I could imagine dogs as well, various animals involved as well as the family, just filling that house, living in it, loving it. Yeah.
So, big question. What happens next?
We're going to go back and look, and we're going to see, look at all the things of actually, when we're living there, how would it work out for schools and shopping and the commute and all these things. But I think the bottom line for me is I really want it to work. And so I don't think there will be any obstacle that will be too big in making it happen.
Good. Well, look, I want it to work for both of you. We're in a great position. Let us know how you get on.
Yep.
We will do. Yeah,
Best
thank
of
you.
luck. Well, of course, Mary said it. It has indeed been a week of ups and downs, but thankfully we have finished on a huge up. Properties can be extremely persuasive, and our mystery house has had an awful lot to say to both Mary and Gabriel. And I must confess, I am hugely relieved. I'll see you next.